Hello, I'm Leah. This is the Playful Enchantress. This is late, putting it out there. I am very rumpled. I'm very Saturday right now. I'm probably dirty. We've been moving things all over the place, trying to get the house a little more settled for guests because our basement studio, like our basement room, has been just like completely unusable for a while. So we've been making it usable and it feels good, but also I'm dirty. Welcome. I'm going to do our reading for the week starting today and going to next Thursday. I will get the reading up on Friday next week. I was thinking this morning about how on a regular week I get to film these on Thursdays, and then I was chuckling because there's no such thing as a regular week. It's like the in budgeting when you're like, oh, if we just had a normal month, we could get ahead, but there's no such thing as a normal month. The myth of the normal month keeps us living above our means or like stuck in a cycle of debt because we expect at some point we're going to have a month that only has expected expenses, but there's always something there's never a normal month. There's never a normal week. So I just have to accept that about filming. So my kids are home and because it's Saturday and they're with their dad, but who knows? Who knows? They're gonna pop in and interrupt me. We've got the picture book of Anna Cortez. I actually was on her website and there are some available, some of the card decks. So that's kind of cool. If you just go to annacortez.com, I think you can look it up. So we're gonna do our community at large, any way that we are working toward connecting with, being useful for, caring for our community. This could also be boundaries, whatever's coming up, and a larger circle around ourselves. The next card will be our internal circle, our families, our homes, how to care for that this week. And then finally, ourselves, our own selves. And I did want to say, when I was talking last week about the reading with the West Wind, the Four of Clubs, I had a breeze like blow through my own head so hard and rearrange how I was thinking about a lot of things. And so if that happened for you too, that's what we were talking about, because it was about myself, but it was also how I was caring for all of the people around me and how I felt about time. So you can read my Substack about it because I went into detail there. I'm not going to go into detail here. Okay, got a new phone that's filming this. Hopefully the audio is better. Outside. Circle for everyone reading this. We're going to go with the tippy top. We got the south wind again, right? That was last week's, wasn't it? I'll check. It was a wind. I think it was the south wind. So we're still working with that breeze kind of feeling. Internal circle, family, care. Yes, top again. Sort of enchantment. This feels similar to the wind. We have another clubs, and the clubs are air. The Sword of Enchantment I love. And I just noticed, I've been reading with this deck since I was like 19. I just noticed the little hands are holding the ribbon. I just think that's so cool. Okay, so that is for our connection to our families, how we're going to take care of our homes, and for ourselves, self-care. Okay, it's you. Okay, all right. Bridge, transitions, feels right for the equinox, which was yesterday, and the transitions we're going through seasonally. It is actually the spring card, I believe. So, south wind, pretty sure that's what, yes, we did get this last week. I was like, just want to make sure, you want to be right. So, south wind for our connection to the outside. The south wind is a warm wind. It's very soothing. It's very comforting. It's summer, so it's productive. So I'm feeling like this is our connection to going in the direction of connecting with our community. I keep bringing that up, connecting with the community every time, but considering how isolating the last year has felt, or even maybe pre-pandemic, like if we think about how we've been isolated, and a lot of our community structures have fallen apart in the last 5 or 6 and then 10 and then 25 years. I feel like this blowing energy, it's like, let's look, let's connect to the people around us and see what we can bring, what like nice sweet ideas, something like that. So connecting to those folks around you, but in a really light, easy way, like a little, because these are winds, right? It's not a blowing hard wind like the north wind. It's a summer breeze. Now in the summer, we also here we'll get incredibly hard winds, and I'm not feeling like that's the case. This is not a damaging wind. It's a wind of connecting, warmth, kindness. The diamonds are fire. They also have to do with money. So connecting maybe with like fundraising, something like that seems accurate. And then Sword of Enchantment. This is another like manifestation card, kind of like we had the 3 of clubs a few weeks ago. This is about creating what we want to create, and this is a sword, and the 7s in this deck are all swords, so all of the swords are have different qualities. This looks a lot more like a key because it is air, and so it's about connecting what you want with what like you're capable of and what actions you want to take. So thinking about your home and like spring cleaning, and how we're a lot of times feeling the pull this time of year to like sort some stuff out and like throw some things away, connecting with your ideals and taking a very measured look at what you want to create and then what you're capable of with like the energy that you have. So maybe you want to clear your basement like I'm doing. Keeping track of the actions needed to do so without like putting too much. Like I was relate back to me today because I was clearing that space. We did a pretty good job, a good place to stop today and then pick up kind of the rest of it tomorrow. And then I'll be able to have that ready for guests next week. I looked at another project that could be considered adjacent because it's in that room. And I started taking the pieces of drawers out to fix some drawers. And I went, this is not the goal. The goal is to make this room usable on Friday. Fixing these drawers is something I do want to do, but it's not necessarily going to get me to that goal any faster. What would be more useful is vacuuming, right? So keeping those two things together are important if you're going to really make progress, because a lot of times we get very overwhelmed, especially if like me, you have ADHD. You're like, oh, I'm going to make this room perfect. Well, I'm not, and I should know that by now. And so that's a funny noise from my throat. So keeping an eye on that, and also dreaming and keeping your dreams front of mind are key. So so keep your dreams and keep your actions level and take small steps for your home. And then I'm seeing with family, if I'm like, hey, how about family? Just really listening to the people around you, like giving everybody a chance to speak about what they want, what their dreams are. Could be a fun thing to do. One thing we like to do in my family, and my husband and I and our 2 kids, is like just ask really funny questions at dinner. Like if you were an animal, what animal would you be? And then we mix in other things, like if you could travel anywhere, where would you travel? Or if you could learn any language, if you could wake up and speak any language, what would you speak? And letting your family surprise you with what like they dream of, because we get so busy living with our families that sometimes we miss the kind of cool stuff that we might get a chance to talk about. For ourselves, we have the card right before this in the deck, the bridge, the 6 of clubs. The 6 of clubs is a transition card. It's definitely a choice card where you go from one side, you choose to cross to the other side. What do you need to do to cross? What dreams are you following? Last week I had small action go in a direction. This is like the next step. What do you need to let go of to get to the next step? What are you using to hold yourself back? These are very place-based cards. So this is kind of like a physical location maybe, or stuff, your own things that you may need to let go of. Financially, if you came up with something last week, like I want to go back to school to study something, the next step is physically, what's the transition you need to make to do that? Is it figure out funding? Is it look into scholarships? Is it look into your own income and see maybe your work has a scholarship thing? Like, look into it. Take the next step in more of a physical way and make that transition. This is like actually take the step and step over the bridge. You can contemplate it. You could not go over the bridge, but you're at a point, we're all at a point where we're going to make a choice and we're going to step forward. So that's the reading for today. I hear a kid coming up the stairs. I don't know if they're going to come in. So there we go. South wind again, second time. I've noticed that these external circles seem to move a little slower than the more internal ones, which makes sense. And then the Sword of Enchantment, following dreams, listening, making sure our efforts match our abilities, and then doing something to step forward into a goal, a movement. I don't want to make it like you have to have listened to last week's or watched last week's reading. But last week it was make a small action. It was Gawain, the knight, and he was riding off on his horse. So last week it was like, go in one direction. And this is like, okay, now take the step. So like you've gone in a direction, take the step. So if you look back and say, oh, last week I did make some steps to do something. What's the next hurdle that'll take you to the next point? So thank you so much. My ritual, completely free, completely downloadable ritual for removing the culture that we grew up in that was so influenced by L brands, like the Bath and Body Works and Victoria's Secret and Pink and Limited Too, like that influence in our lives is on my website, and it's linked below, but it's essentially at leahspinred.com. It's at the top, JE Ritual. Click it, listen to it. It's about 20 minutes. The actual audio is 20 minutes. The ritual's a little shorter. And then share it. Download it, share it. It's out there like sprinkles. I hope everybody gets a chance to do it, to get our power out of that situation and get it back into ourselves. It's just really nice. And I got some great feedback from those who listened to it when I got it done last week. So thank you so much. And I will see you next week. And I'll have some fun announcements next week for my family retreat coming up in October. So hopefully I'll have I'll have the portal open so that you can check it out. So thank you.